Let's say you've done the whole evaluation of a specific situation. We could take an example, an evaluation you may have with your boss or some other event. And you've really mapped out and evidence what was non-conducive in that situation. You've also done the envisioning and chosen the techniques. So for example, meeting with the boss, at the soma level, you had noticed that you were tired because you were worrying for several days about the meeting, and that your respiration was shallow and nervous, and that you were anxious and even guilty about maybe not having work enough. You were sure that you were going to get a bad evaluation, and then you could just see going on probation and losing your job and so on and so forth. Something very catastrophic. You tended to be either inhibited during the meeting or over talkative, trying to explain yourself, and had a notion that you were not good enough, that he or she, your boss, may be very strict, and you were really not connected to yourself and just waiting to see what would happen, and your feeling and experience was really determined by the reaction of the boss. And surely the mechanisms that we're using were being disconnected from your capability, not acknowledging the work that you had done and rationalizing about not having time, or that the work was too hard, or even blaming others. And you were able to envision what would maybe conducive. So, for example, being able to be rested and feeling good in yourself and breathing from the abdomen, that also you were able to be calm and confident, or that you would have a thinking pattern that would be open and objective, and seeing what the evaluation may be. And if it was not all positive, that you would always have a chance to do better. You would think that you would be doing better if you would listen first and then express yourself appropriately, and holding the notion that, I have done my best, I know how to do this, I have worked hard at it, and being anchored into your work ethics, your assets, your training, your experience, and using a mechanism of being connected with your capacity, and so on and so forth. So this is what would look like a full mapping, and you would have chosen techniques to move from non-conducive to conducive, that you would have listed here. So for example, in terms of the soma, sleep well and practice to breathe in a calm way from the diaphragm, to be able to relax. We practice to be calm and even confident. Do at the thought level more objective fact finding and more balanced conclusions about what may happen, how you would behave in listening, and expressing yourself appropriately. You may rehearse that type of behavior, do affirmation about the right notion that you're capable, or redirect the non-conducive notions to the right one, and bringing your work ethics, your confidence, being anchored from within, and choosing the right mechanism and anchor, and so on and so forth. So that's what it would look like for a situation. And then what you can do is use the time that you have set aside to practice, or to shift, to transform from the non-conducive to the conducive. So you may want to do it dimension by dimension, and use your morning time after your 3-part exercise, which usually takes 3 minutes. You may want to choose 1 or 2 mornings to relax and make sure that you're able to be emotionally calm and breathe properly and bring this to work. You may want to use the few minutes also to rehearse how you will be behaving, or do some affirmations in the morning. So you could choose to do them one by one. Also, you may want to use your 30-minute weekly time. You probably have done it to replay the situation and map it, but you may want to replay it again, but using more the conducive dimensions than the non-conducive. Or you may choose some time also to do some pre-play, so some rehearsing of a situation that may come, where you would exert more the conducive dimensions than the non-conducive. So depending on your schedule, depending on how much work you have to do, you could do it more progressively, dimension by dimension, or take some time to review and pre-play, and that would take more than 10 minutes, so you may use your weekly time to do so.